on the back porch this morning. Been enjoying this foggy, not too bad temperature wise, especially when you come from 20 below zero wind chills. Good morning. Got our narcissist mug here. I don't even know if no notifications will go out. This is not my normal time or my normal method. Now we're getting some people in here. There's the morning, Jason. You're the first one in here, dude. Hope we're doing well. Happy New Year. No intro? No intro. Not when we're out here. I know you're new to my channel, Don, but a lot of times I used to do live feeds from here in my back porch. No StreamYard, no fancy intros, no StreamYard links. Just just a good old. Usually Saturday, Sunday mornings I'll do this, but I was gonna go live last night, so you can blame DIY and Sterling for me not going live last night. I was gonna go live about 8 o'clock. DIY was still live, but then Sterling went live, and I know he'd been planning that trivia show, and I was kind of on the fence anyways whether I wanted to go live or not. And when I finally made a decision, then Sterling went live. Then I realized I was just too tired, so New Year's Eve, so I've got some friends in Arkansas. It's a death metal band, Bore. They like to play this party gig that a friend of ours has in Rogers, and I always think I'm going to go, but then I never do. Because the last thing I want to do is drive, 2.5 hours to see a party show and then have to come home. Can't drink, can't do anything else, right? So we never go usually. Usually the weather sucks too, but the weather's been good. We had 2 70-degree days in a row. Then yesterday was just super nice. We had to patch a part of the fence because the dog was getting out. He dug up some big body, like it was probably either a dog or a deer. And yes, being this far in the town, we have had deer, so I've seen it on my security cameras. I wouldn't have believed it had I not seen it. But evidently he was digging up something in the backwoods there, which he's not supposed to have access to. So we were outside dealing with that, and we realized, man, it's pretty nice today. And the wife is still feeling down, so I went and did all the grocery shopping for her. And one of the advantages of being home is I can step in when she needs it. Because face it, if you're the spouse of a truck driver, you're pretty much a single person. I mean, yeah, you might remain faithful and all that, but you're making the home decisions. You're managing the house. You're managing the bills. You're the head of the household pretty much. And that's what trucker spouses deal with. And I would be lying if I say she has not enjoyed the benefits of me being home. So, and that brings me to the topic of this video. Is a reflection of 2022. It might be raining a little bit. And I'll get to the comments here in a minute, but I just wanted to. So, the goal of 2022 started right from the beginning. So, about 2 years ago, Jeff started a brokerage. And then he needed a role for a person that was in the company that had to get out of his truck. And so he made him a dispatcher. And a couple of guys signed up with him. Because those of you know who self-dispatch, you know it's not the easiest thing in the world. And in 21, that person decided to leave. And one of our guys that was relying on that dispatch service decided to get his own authority. And Jeff called me up and said, hey, you're not running as much. I think that this would be a good role for you. You know, you've got the safety position, which, you know, allows you some extra income. So if you want to concentrate on this, that's cool. So that was Greg Zimmer. He and I hit it off pretty good. And right out of the gate in January, we were making money. I quickly learned that Greg is at any time, anywhere with the drive to succeed. And as things got tougher in 22 with rates and volumes, a few of the other guys would sign up with me at Like Trucking. And it worked well. You know, I was learning. I was, you know, I know that other YouTubers have criticized that I would run these people like I would run myself, which I've always openly admitted that I'm not the best runner. When it comes to, I like my narrow lanes. I like my specific places. I've done the same thing throughout my entire trucking career. As a company driver, we did a lot of the same runs. Not dedicated per se, but still doing, you know, the same stuff. And when I went to Landstar, I quickly learned that my experience as a company driver, I went to 47 states. Nevada was the only state that I didn't go in. Still haven't been there, actually. But I know the lanes. I knew the routes. I just, when I started self-dispatching my own truck, I knew where I wanted to run, and my profit margin allowance and the way I ran my business and the way my expenses are, you know, there. I didn't have to be an anytime, anywhere person, but I understand the concept of being able to run. I understand the concept of having to chase the money when you need to. And at Landstar, I did. I did a load from Laredo to Boise one time. That was the best paying load I'd ever done. Then the recession hit, and you kind of had to tighten the belt. You kind of had to, you know, I realized that I craved consistency. And that's the Capricorn in me. I like consistently. I like having my roots somewhere, and I live in the best, one of the best freight areas that you can live in the country. So why not? So when I went to Schneider, I created that consistency, and my business started to flourish. And then when I went to the spot market, I realized that I was going to have to try to do the best of both worlds. Still be anytime, anywhere, willing to put in the work, but do it within the consistent best paying lanes. In the spot market versus Landstar, there was a lot more options. The hard part in the spot market is creating the relationships and finding the brokers that have those direct customers. And that was the same challenge at Landstar. So when it comes to running my own truck, I've learned a lot. Pigtail and the dean called me one day and said, Steve, we think you're leaving a lot of money on the table. Here's some negotiating tactics. Pigtail made me a spreadsheet that I could, sorry for the cough, and I can't mute it, to keep track, and I was starting to find myself making 10 to 20% more on negotiating. So I learned how to become a negotiator. I learned how to negotiate better. But I also know that making 20 freaking phone calls for every single load was just not efficient. And you're dealing with, when you make 20 calls, you're dealing with 20 different personalities, 20 different broker agents, 20 different situations. And it's hard to get some good ground doing that. So the higher your expenses, the less room for error there is. And understanding that and recognizing that allowed me to be a better dispatcher for myself and a better dispatcher for my trucks. The clients that I have lost either left to go do contract freight, or their expenses were just too much for them to bear, or their will to fight wasn't there anymore, which is understandable. I don't knock anybody, because the reality is, as an owner operator in the spot market, you have to be an anytime, anywhere person to really kind of insulate yourself from the pitfalls of down markets. And it's as simple as that. That's going to be my next logo. My next thing I put on a stupid coffee mug is it's as simple as that. And all the charts and all the tools that I show on the 123 low board, and all the tools that you see on DAT, and all the tools on Truck Stop, all the tools on Sonar, does you absolutely no good if you're not utilizing that information to the best of your ability. Now, I'm not saying that everybody's got to suddenly do that load from Laredo to Boise, but if it means filing bankruptcy or not doing that load, what are you going to do, right? So these are the things that I'm reflecting on in 22, because it's funny, there's been a lot of YouTubers that have put how awesome 2022 was. And there are people personally that I knew that grew their companies this year. I've grown the dispatch service. Jeff has completely put that in my hands. He lets me have free reign. And this year's the year that we're going to build the brokerage, and we have the right friends and the right people and the right tools to do that. So what I've learned is that 22 was a reflection. I'm reflecting on 22. 22 was a transition. That's what it was. A transition of driver to dispatch to broker. And we'll see how that works. Eventually I'll have to make some decisions on the truck, and it is my safety net. If like trucking was to go away tomorrow, I can get in the truck, and I've got 8 other carriers that would take me on in a second. I've had a couple offers, actually, and I've told them I have loyalty to Jeff because he has helped me with my career. But also, I've also told these people that I would not be a good contractor for them, because their carrier is at a point where it's very critical that your first 4 or 5 guys have got to be runners. They've got to be $300K a year type people. And I'm not. I've never been that. Do I know how to work? Yes. But I also know that staying 3 months out and barely breaking even is something that a lot of people are doing right now, and that's not for me. When I dispatch a truck, it's based off of what the driver's needs are, what the carrier's needs are, what the company's needs are, and come up with strategies that may or may not fit what they're doing now. Excuse me. And I'm here to serve. And that's something that a lot of these dispatch services don't do. They're not there to serve. They're there to make you serve. And that's not me. So we'll see what 23 brings. I learned in 22 that I need to be more organized. I learned that I need to keep track of my numbers a lot closer. I've learned that by just being a good person and helping people when I can, that you create a positive network that way. Because the reality is, you could be the hardest worker, the best work ethic, but if you don't know how to talk to people, if people don't like you, it becomes more of a struggle. And when you finally hit rock bottom, ain't nobody there to pick you up. And that's something that you have to consider. You know, a lot of us are truck drivers because we're loners. You know, we're loners, we're rebels. But at the same time, you do have to know how to socialize. You do have to know how to network because you're a salesperson. You're selling your services. You're telling the person, "Hey, I've got a truck and I've got a trailer, and I'm gonna care about your load, and we're gonna get it done." I remember on Facebook, there was a guy that posted that he was doing this load that was so cheap that he wasn't going to do check calls. He's going to do the bare minimum when he does these cheap loads. I'm not doing the check calls. I'm not doing the email. I'm not doing the tracking. You know, I'm just going to do their load and be done with it. They're lucky if it gets there on time. That's how much I don't care. And you had half the people commenting, "Yeah, man, I'm the same way. I hate that," you know. Then you had the other half going, just shaking their heads like, "You obviously don't understand what you're doing. You obviously don't understand what it takes to be a successful, well-rounded business owner." Even as a company driver, if your dispatcher thinks that you don't care, if your company thinks that you don't care, if your company thinks that you're not taking care of the equipment, if the company doesn't, you know, if the company knows that you just look at fuel mileage and flip at the big bird, you know, the big finger, do you think you're going to be treated well? I know so many people that switch companies all the time, not realizing that they're the root of the problem, not their companies that they're signing on with. And that's what I've learned the most in this last year. I've only done 8 loads this year, and 2 of them were rescues. My truck batteries are dead, so I'm gonna have to deal with that. The APU is dead. I got to deal with that, and then the trailer needs a DOT. I got to deal with that. And it feels weird. It brings me anxiety. But at the same time, finding that balance of being able to serve the trucks that I have underneath me. Well, I say underneath me, that's not a good term. The trucks that I have signed on with me, to be able to serve them and be a true partner for them, but still be able to run my own truck. That is a challenge now. CDN's given me some tools to be able to do that. But if I can just stay above a certain number, I don't have to run the truck. And that's where you know, the struggle is. Just like you have weeks that you don't run the truck because it's down or you got something going on at home. Sorry for the dog, it's distracting, I know. You have moments where you don't get in that 2,000 miles. You have moments where, you know, you only get 2 loads in for the week. And then there are weeks that you get a $10,000 week and everything just worked right. Well, dispatch service is the same way. And the cool thing about all of it is my safety net sitting out front of the house. If I have to go back to running it full time, I'm barely even going to have to look at a load board because of the relationships and the partnerships that I've acquired with carriers, brokers, and shippers. So that's my reflection of 22. It was chaotic. It was a learning experience. And there were times when anxiety got the best of me. I didn't know what I was doing. There are times when I asked myself, what am I doing here? And I question myself every day. Still do, actually. Every time I look at my truck, I'm proud of my truck. I love my truck. And I talk to Jeff, I talk to DIY, who have become 2 of the most important people to me in this venture, and CDN. Those three people are what's going to allow me to go to the next level. If that happens in 23, cool. If it doesn't, then we just keep on keeping on. So ideally, I would like to find something locally, like a Joplin to Springfield back and forth, where I could still dispatch trucks and still do that for myself. But we'll see. Who knows, right? Rates did drop, and it was the fuel that made everybody struggle. It was their high-priced truck payments that made people struggle. It was not knowing what areas to stay in when the rates come down. That's what took a lot of people out this year. Man, that dog needs to shut the hell up. Let's go with some comments, shall we? I'm reading the other phone, so I don't think I'm now looking down. Jason, what's up? Good morning. Dennis, Richardsville. Happy New Year. Richardville, sorry. I don't know why I can't do that right. WCF Invader, no intro. What's up, Lord of Snore? Desert Okie Pam, good morning. Shannon says, yay. Here's to another lousy year. Happy New Year. Greetings from Kansas City. Says Greg Zimmer. Oh no, Mr. Bill. Happy New Year. DIY had a banger in that special female guest of his. I'm ready to get started back driving tomorrow. So glad the truck is back. Good deal. Excuse me. Touch bases with me in the morning, please, and we'll see what strategy we want to use. Sean Fairman, Happy New Year, best wishes in 23. Thank you. TC Boggs, Happy New Year, Snorelord. Thank you, TC Boggs. I appreciate your support and you coming to the defense of Jeff and I at times. I appreciate that. Mr. Charles, morning, Happy New Year. Heck yeah, get onto a regular route and then you can work on maximizing your efficiency. There was one opportunity for a job in the Springfield, but it was TQL, and they were being lame about it on the negotiating. So it wasn't enough. Like, oh, you could do one of these a day for $300. Like, no, no, I can't. So, Happy New Year, cool trucking. Everybody's talking about college football. If you didn't enjoy running my own company as much as I do, then I'd leave in a heartbeat to go back to LTL making 100K a year. Doing that, I'd be denying my end goal of growing a trucking company, though. And that's the thing, Don, is there's a lot of people that came into this business thinking that it was going to be awesome money and awesome times, but watch an episode of Shark Tank. Any entrepreneur goes through ups and downs. And so while Will Burner did a good video of know when to give up, you have to keep your goals in clear focus to recognize when that exit plan has to be initiated. It's okay to break even for a minute. It's okay to even take a loss if your goals are still achievable, if your goals are still attainable. Now, a little bit of loss is better than a lot of loss. A lot of loss is this industry will chew you up and spit you out, as it did this year for a lot of people. Shannon is so excited. I'm going to be an outstanding year. It's going to be an outstanding year. Bandit Jr., what's up, man? How you doing? Haven't seen you in a minute. Snorelord, you have found the key, but the door has to open. Some open hard, my friend. That is Shadow Wolf, a man of great wisdom, a man of many talents, a man of many years of experience. Talking right there. That's smart. Be late on a cheap load and sit 2 extra days waiting on a new appointment. Happy New Year's. Hoping better than 22. T-Bone. Yeah, I know you've had a tough year, so here's to you having a better year, my friend. 2023 last year with truck payments, hopefully for a while. Good deal, Chucky. Chicken Ox says Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Snorelord says Twitch. 22 was one of my best years yet. Here's to 23 even being better. There you go, Twitch. Awesome. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Dennis, LOL. Morning, Steve. Happy New Year, Will Burner. To you and your lovely lady. Thank you. Nomadic Brit Steve in chat. 23 is definitely my year. It will be. Even the Brits are in here. I'm glad to see you back, Brit. Glad to see you back. Wow, we caught up comments pretty quickly. Happy New Year to you, Snorelord. You have helped me this year more than you know, and I'm very grateful. I hope 23 brings you great success and joy. Shayna says, Happy New Year, Snorelord and family. Thank you. Clyde, morning, Steve. Hope all is well. And look, a huge portion of Like Trucking's turnover is people like Clyde, people like Greg, getting their own authority. There's quite a few of our contractors that have gone on to get their own authority. Sandman, the Dean, Clyde, Greg Zimmer, James G, Mike Mentor. Trying to see if there's anybody else. I'm sure there's a couple others. And then the other turnover is contract freight, because the spot can be difficult. And so if you want to stay in the spot market, you have to create the lane that allows you to be, like Big Rig CEO. What does he do? He finds a lane and he stays in it. When he was running reefer, he was Chicago to Missouri and back. You know, I used a similar approach, still use a similar approach with my reefer truck. Um, he's getting ready to do the power only gig, so that should make for some interesting content for Big Rig CO. So we'll see how that plays out. Oh, and by the way, did you see that Convoy? Sammy Makes Sense posted this on Facebook, but Convoy is now renting dry van trailers for $1,100 a month. 30-day contracts. So, basically every month you can renew. I have not looked into that. 1,100 is a bit steep, but we'll see if this quarter brings on a lot of people that are selling their trailers. We'll see. With Amazon closing a bunch of facilities and a lot of storage trailers now not being used for storage. Walmart's notorious for that. If you're an orange guy, if you're at Schneider, you go to the OCs and half the trailers there were loaded with a bunch of stuff from Walmart that didn't need to be delivered yet. So they were literally paying Schneider to use Schneider's trailers for storage. Then it became a pain in the ass trying to find an empty. So there's going to be a lot of that, a lot of those trailers opening up. So I'm hoping that trailer prices will come down because I would like to invest in trailers. And then lease them on to the guys that come over here to like trucking. I think that would be, we had a couple of people did that and they did well with it. So that's kind of what it might be a 24 goal, not a 23 goal, but still, it's something that I would like to do. Cents per mile. Good morning. Happy New Year. Doing a reset at a Love's. Poor guy backs in next to me last night, and this morning he has crank with no start. I feel bad for him. Not the way to start the new year. Yeah, I saw that. Not much less than my payment on the trailer I own. I wonder how old those trailers are though. 1,100 is not so okay price for the time, so I wonder what the catch is. I don't know, maybe it's just my perception, but I think 1,100's kind of high. Because here's the advantage of the Convoy trailers. I don't know what kind of deposits they need, and I don't know, if I was to get my own authority tomorrow and want to rent one of the trailers, would I be able to? Because that's usually the big hurdle. Is you have a lot of people last year that came out, got their own authority doing power only, and then if their trailer network was struggling a little bit, it made them struggle. But they didn't have the credit or the ability to go to Extra Lease or the ability to go to these leasing places without either a big huge chunk of money down or even if they even had equipment. And I know that the majority of people that I know that are leasing trailers, including ourselves, don't like it. They'd rather just own the trailers. Now, where leasing becomes an advantage is that you're not worried about the maintenance of the trailer. You're not worried about storage of the trailer if you don't have contractors, and you can get new equipment. But man, you might sign a lease for 3 years for 5 trailers and then not be able to put contractors underneath them. And if you have to give those trailer back, you're paying those full 3 years. That's how Extra Lease works on a lot of their deals. So there's a lot. I don't think it takes away any of the risk. So for me, I think that the math has to work, that it has to be a decently priced trailer at a decent age that has been well maintained, and you have the ability to go pick it up if and track it if the driver takes off or, you know, if you lose the driver. I know somebody right now struggling with the fact that his trailer cannot be gotten to because the driver went out of business and is still sitting his truck underneath the trailer and nobody can get to it. So, and that's costing this person money. And that's definitely a potential problem when you are out there leasing trailers. So, I don't know, Wheel Burner, what the exact. I think it says on the app. So if you got the Convoy app, there might even be a number or email address that you can email and see what the contract looks like. But that's a great question. Some lease places want you to do brakes and tires. That's what they measure. Other places make you do all the maintenance. And then other places will nickel and dime you out of your deposit when you go to turn that trailer in. You know, you could turn in a 10-year-old trailer, and they're going to ding, oh, look at this dent. Look at this hole in the floor. Well, that crap was there when he gave me the trailer. Sorry, we're charging you for it. And then they don't fix it, and then they charge it to the next driver or the next company. It's a scam. Convoy will just tear up a bunch of trailers and return them. But Pale Rider, Happy New Year to you, my friend. Pale Rider had a good live feed Friday night. I did not join in because I wasn't feeling up to it, but and we never did find out what Daniel Adami was doing. So, but so tomorrow's my birthday. So this time of year it's kind of a roller coaster, you know, between Christmas, New Year's, and my birthday. I do a lot of reflecting. Where did I screw up? What did I not screw up? What can I be doing better? What should I be doing better? What am I doing awesome? And I think that's why I don't really go out and do much for New Year's Eve. I don't sit there and, you know, I get on Facebook and I read all the motivational quotes and all that stuff. And I put one up in our community post. That's kind of my attitude. That came from my brother-in-law. And I don't know where he got it, but I just copy and pasted, and that's the community post. So that's kind of how I look at it. You know, I'll even read it to you if you guys haven't seen it. Do it this way. If you guys don't mind, hit the thumbs up. Hit the like. My thoughts on the beginning of another new year. See, I'm reading. If you owe me, don't worry about it. Now, there's a caveat to that part. If you owe me a lot of money, then that's a no-go, right? If you owe me a couple $100, like there's a person I sold a tire to that still owes me for that. I don't think I'll ever see that money, so, but I'm not worried about it. If you wronged me, it's all good. I forgive you. And that's actually true. There are people that have attacked me this year. And I forgive them. Because I know it comes from a place of pain, fear, anxiety, and addiction. So, and that's a tough spot to be in. I would be lashing out too if I was under those conditions. If you are fighting with me, you won. I don't get in arguments with people. If you're not speaking to me, it's cool. Be safe, and I still wish you well. And that's true as well. There's a lot of people that I don't talk to anymore simply because we've either drifted apart or they don't like my position of not being a driver, full-time driver. or they think that I'm all about owner ops and not company drivers. I have a friend of mine that stopped being friends with me once, I entered the owner operator world. And I'm trying to think back if I've ever looked down at company drivers, which I don't. If you believe I have wronged you in any way, I'm truly sorry and I apologize. That comes goes back to what I just said. And here's the final sentence. Life is too short. No one is promised tomorrow. Let us be thankful for each other and make the most of every day. Live, laugh, love, pay it forward. And that's it. My brother-in-law puts that out every year, and I share it. And that's going to be a yearly tradition for me. Because at the end of the day, all the squabbling that we do online, all the hatred, all the arguments, all the judgments, all it does is poison your soul. It really does. I don't walk around with hatred in my heart. I know I'm a death metal guy, and and I love my death metal, but it doesn't come from a place of hatred. It comes from a place of the aggression that you need for life. And you have to be aggressive at times. You have to, get up off your ass and go to work. You have to get up and take the struggle. We learn through struggling. We learn through failure. We learn through breaking your fingers and throwing the wrench and kicking the hole in the drywall. We learn through those experiences. If you can just humble yourself, kill your ego, or at least give it a good beat down, and you just keep on keeping on. How many of you truly know how to be happy? How many of you in this chat, you might be the best runners, you might have had a $300,000, $380,000 a year this year. Are you happy though? Do you have good relationships? Do you have good friendships? Do you feel like you're alone? What good's money if you're alone? Right? And you never have to truly be alone. That's the positives of social media. That's the positives of the interwebs. If you cross me once, shame on you. If you cross me twice, shame on me. Says Wheelburner. Happy early birthday. Thank you, Wheelburner. Checking out Wheelburner. You know that this industry has turned into just a bunch of scams. Good customers, companies are few and far between nowadays. Wheelburner says, I don't have a Facebook. I shut it down because I was suffering from sensory overload. Too much negativity. What I found with Facebook is you got to go on 30-day fast with it. Take the shortcut out of your phone and hold on. Take the shortcut out of your phone, and that usually, number one, the ads things hate that. They don't know what to think when you finally log in after 30 days. It's pretty funny. And so January 3rd or 4th, probably the 4th, I will go on another 30-day fast from Facebook. And that's kind of hard for me because I get a lot of my content on my morning lives from the ignorance that I see on the rate pages. You know, rate per mile masters, rate chasers. You know, because, and look, I don't judge these people. I don't sit there and like, look at this freaking idiot. He thinks that brokers do this and that. I don't do that. I'm more like, you know what? This is coming from a place of pain. You know, and my common sense kicks in and says, look, if brokers are doing you wrong, then don't deal with them. Either hire a dispatch guy like me to deal with them, or leave. It's that simple. I don't. I try not to buy bottled water at convenience stores because the markup is so high. But I also don't. When I do need to buy a bottle of water, I don't go in there and ask the guy how much he how much he had to pay for the bottle of water. Because then I'm gonna get a lecture about how he has to pay employees, how he has to do this, how he has to do that, and it's just buy the bottle of water and go. That's how it is with brokers. Don't like brokered freight? Don't do it. Don't use them. And people will tell you, well, you know, it's not as simple as that. Exactly, it isn't. Quit blaming other people for your problems and move on. I wish the best to all of you, says Shadow Wolf. You're real truckers out there this new year. I know the struggles. I know how the industry is like. I've been there and lived it. Be safe and bank for when the times are down. There you go, Shadow Wolf. Not really looking forward to any more birthdays. You probably don't believe we are going to try to go to the Keys. Wheel burner, you attracting negativity. You need to become a rainbow spouting unicorn. Happiest birthday, brother! Thank you for being my spirit animal. That's a weird thing to say, Shannon. But thank you for the super chat. Money is good. I need money because I don't have any friends except Will Burner, and he makes me pay him to say he's my friend. That's a good scam you got going on, Will Burner. Anybody wants to pay me to call them a friend, hey, $ Snorelord. But make sure you spell Snorelord right. Change tactics. Happy birthday, Steve. Is Snorelord baby New Year? No. My birthday's tomorrow. I was late. my dad's like, yeah, we thought you were going to be a New Year baby, but like everything else, you're late. So we never got, because I guess the government or somebody gives the parents money if you have a New Year baby. I don't know if that's still the case, but at one time it was. My dad's like, yeah, you were late, you cost me money. You know, like it was an inconvenience. It also kind of sucks having a birthday near a holiday because you get, like, instead of getting 10 gifts for Christmas, you get 5, and then the other 5 are on your birthday. So I wasn't, you know, it's funny. You know, these days we shower our kids with a huge, massive birthday party every freaking year. I only remember doing that like twice as in my childhood. And it was overwhelming to me. I didn't like it. I didn't like having 20 of my friends in my room playing with all my stuff and ogling over my cool stuff that my dad was obviously spending way too much money on. That didn't sit well with me. And a lot of people will think about that when they're giving their kids these birthday parties. It's like it's pretty stressful on a kid. And we wonder why 90% of our kids have anxiety issues these days. You know, between that and the sugar, I mean, come on. So that's a different topic for a different day. I'm okay with weird. All the best people are born on the first 10 days of January, Snorelord Elvis. This is true. Although, I'm in a house full of November birthdays, so they're pretty cool too. I'll be 51 this year. So at 3 in the morning, I'll officially be 51 years old. age doesn't bother me. I still have the mindset of a 25-year-old, I think. Um, I still enjoy a lot of things that 51-year-olds probably shouldn't enjoy, like, like certain comics or TV shows or whatever. But it's, I don't know. I like, I don't know. I think 50 is the new 40. That's just my opinion. Am I right, Shannon? Wish you were 51? Well, it means we're more than halfway there if you live to be 100. So that's what 51. A lot of people are like, they do a lot of special events for their 50th birthday, and the only thing I did was buy myself a cool gadget. That's it. And I if you go to the Snorelord OG channel, that's the one I bought. I just did a video on a holster, but so a lot of reflection today and tomorrow, and then January 3rd is the anniversary of when my dad passed away. So it's kind of a, I don't get all, I don't get all, I don't know. I just, usually I'm working, even as driver. I'm usually working over New Year's and my birthday. It's just another day. New Year's driving is usually pretty easy. Easy to find a parking spot, but I don't know. That's just me though. Dar surprised me and took me to Vegas for my 50th birthday. Don't stereotype 51. Rock on, Snorelord. Thank you. I don't. I mean, it's funny. You watch a TV show like Golden Girls, and and you realize that they're like, when I was a kid watching that TV show, I was like, man, these chicks are old. And then you realize that they're chicks that we know now on TV and movies and stuff that are the same age, but they don't look anything like the Golden Girls, right? So it's kind of interesting how there's even a couple of videos about how, what's the science of why people looked older 50 years ago versus today. Like, you remember when you were going through school and you'd graduate to the next grade, and you look at the grade that you just came out of the next year, and you're looking at these kids like, there's no way that this kid's a fourth grader. They look younger. I think it's actually the opposite, though. I think you look at a person and you think that they're in their 30s, and they're actually like 18, 19. You're like, that's crazy. So it's weird being in the 50s, because everything's all jacked up. You don't know what to believe. And you start to recognize that. You start to recognize just how jacked up everything is. And it makes me wonder what I would have done with this, set of open eyes, 20 years ago. How much more I might have been able to accomplish. I agree with that, Chicken Hawk. Good morning, Hot Seat. Happy New Year. Doing my IFTA return now, and just noticed pretty much all my feeling was done in Missouri. This is going to hurt. Shouldn't be too bad. 90% of my feelings in Missouri, and my IFTA is usually I don't think I've paid more than $75. So but anyways, that's it. If you guys want to bring up something, bring up a topic, we'll talk about it. If not, my coffee's getting cold because I haven't been drinking it. Ugh, it is cold. But I thought I'd go live this morning since I wasn't able to last night. I thought about doing a guitar live feed last night, but then the wife wanted to go to bed, so it probably wouldn't have been a good idea. Like, hey, honey, I know you're trying to sleep, but check it out. Chat, 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 chat. Look at everybody. Look at me. Look at all 15 people watching me play guitar on YouTube. So I didn't want to do that. And DIY had a good live feed. I didn't want to interrupt it. Oh, wow. Look at you, Britt. Thank you very much. Happy birthday, my friend. Have got to go as I have 10,000 steps to do. Thank you, Britt. Man, that's a good birthday gift. What shall I do with all that money? Probably go get some Chinese food and a box of ammo and watch Vikings on TV. That's probably what I'll do with that. Thank you very much. And thank you for the super chat, Shannon, as well. So, hello, DIY. Look at him waving with his pink hands. I enjoyed your live feed last night. I've really gotten to know an Adam. I probably tell him too many things. I probably talk to him too much, but it's amazing the conversations we've had, as busy as that person is. But I'm learning a lot through him, and it's good to have people like that on your side. It's good to have people like Nomadic Brit on your side. It's good to have people like Shannon on your side. It's good to have people like Jeffrey Like on your side. That allows me to, it helps me, it gives me the hope that I can succeed at what my goals are. 2022 was a goal of handling the transition from truck to home, because you don't want to live in perpetual Saturday. You have to have routine. You have to have structure. You can't just, I think I'll get up and maybe dispatch a truck or two. You don't want to do that. So my goal was to not, because it would be very easy for me to kind of get self-centered in this world, not going out in the world, and so I enjoyed the times that I was in the truck, and I'm hoping that I could do a few runs here soon. In fact, Jeff's going to need me to take a trailer up to either Detroit or Kansas City soon. But I feel like I could have taken money from people. I could have just charged my percentage, put it on autopilot, and allowed these people to steadily go out of business. But after I get a handle on their finances and get a handle on their structures, I'm like, no, I can't do that. So has it taken money out of my pocket? Absolutely. But then I've been rewarded 10 times that, and I can sleep at night. So I'm not, a lot of these dispatch services, they'll promise you they'll make you 10 grand a week. You just got to give us $1,500 a week, and then we'll take what you owe us out of that. No, we don't do that. There's a lot of scam artists out there. A lot of people that want to take advantage of your desperation. So don't, and so if somebody's desperate when they come to me, if I could truly help them, I will. But if I can't, I'm not going to take advantage of the situation, I guess, is where I'm getting at. So, DIY, give me $5. Low carb keto birthday cake. I don't know if my wife's making me one of those this year or not. She usually does. Blessings to you all this year. 2022 was a record year for us with a single truck. We are looking forward to the challenges of 23. I think the most important challenge is to take good advice and apply it. There you go. That's what it is, Will Murner. Once again, you were right. Only $87. Thought it would be significantly more than that. Now to get those if the stickers on the truck. Thanks to all. Thanks for the lice. Don, don't be starting no rumors that I gave you lice. But see, I was right. Around $87. I said 75. I predicted 75. Of course, I run more different states than you do, so I'm not the smartest man. I've made many, many mistakes. But every now and then, I have to prove that I know what I'm talking about. And it's frustrating at times. When someone goes, "Hey, Steve, I need, I've been watching you for 2 years, 3 years, and you give out so much good advice, and you're so awesome." And then I go, "Okay, so what do you need?" "Well, I'm struggling here and here." "Well, have you done your numbers?" "No." "Have you done this?" "No." "Have you tried this?" "No." Then, are you really watching? Are you really paying attention? Have you tried? Have you tried what I've told you? Now, I've yet to have someone come up and say, "Steve, I tried what you told me, and I failed miserably." Then I apologize, and we figure out what happened, right? I've yet to have that. I've yet to have that conversation. Not saying that I'm some be-all, end-all, but if I haven't learned it one way, I've learned it the hard way. I've been the guy over there in Montana going, how am I going to find a load out of here? Well, maybe not Montana, but El Paso, Texas, I've done that. I've done that. I've done the load up to the Northeast and realized that I didn't ask for enough money and was in the hole because of tolls and fuel. I've done that. Been there, done that. I've been the guy that thought that taking a run out to, Phoenix was going to be easy to get out of. No. So, I've made those mistakes. I've, other than wrecking my truck, knock on wood, at least none of my mistakes have been fatal in nature. There's someone at the door. You have been the guy who had no beard. Look at you now, right? You can find some old photos, old videos of no beard. 400-pound, no bearded Snorelord telling you what to do. God, I hate those videos. But I keep them up to remind myself never to go back there. I was arrogant at one time. People still might call me arrogant now. I was very preachy at one time. And I've learned it's not worth it. So, anyways, guys. Good morning, Josh. Dying Breed. He's been instrumental in a lot of my weight loss. And one more confession is, I don't know if it's my cortisol levels or some of the cheats that I've done, but I have gained some of my weight back. I'm still down 100 pounds from my heaviest, but no longer the 140 that I was at one point. So this is a time to kind of get back on track on the food aspect. And I don't think I'm going to go full-blown carnivore again, but I'm definitely going to include workouts. A friend of mine sent me a bunch of stuff on Amazon, workout stuff that was pretty cool. I found a YouTube channel called HasFit. HASFIT. They have some simple 15 minute like weight deals and exercise deals. Fasting is going to be a lot better. I'm going to attempt to get up to 3 24-hour fasts throughout the week. But the first goal is to do 1 a week. Next goal will be 2 a week. So we'll see how long that takes. So there's that going on as well. And Dying Breed has been there. He's done that. And we all stumble a little bit. I noticed that another prominent YouTuber admitted that he had lost a bunch of weight but then gained some of it back. And it truly is just, I think that the stress of dealing with brokers every day, and dispatch and the safety have kind of taken its toll a little bit. So when your stress levels, and that's why it's hard to become healthy as a truck driver, is because if your cortisol levels are constantly elevated, your body just shuts down. Inflammation occurs. And pretty much the only way you can do it is try to reduce your stress and eat right. And that's a tough game, to reduce stress. So you can either clear your mind and have some faith and deal with the stress that way, or you take it out on vices such as food, alcohol, whatever else. So Wheelburner, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, come on, what it says, there's going to be more widespread crazy weather patterns in the next week. This is true. The most fatal mistakes is the mistakes you don't learn from, right? Just run in place and think of Will Ferrell the whole time? I do not get that joke. This will be the year for more physical activity, says Just Right in the Ozarks. I have definitely not been as disciplined as I once was, but it's a work in progress, right? My number should be active on Friday the 13th, says Josh Vegan. Let's go. Awesome. I wish you well. I hope you've set everything up. We need that thigh mask that Suzanne Summers used to sell in a red bandana. Morning. Happy New Year, says Goat Chain. So, yeah, good luck to you, Josh. So, anyways, I can hear my wife. So, she's up and around. So, 23 will be a good year. And if there's anything that you should remember, gratitude is your best tool against anxiety and depression. Even if it's only, well, at least I'm breathing. I can get up and get myself a cup of coffee. Some people don't even have that right now. Strength for today, hope for tomorrow. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for your support in 2022. My channel has grown quite a bit. Oh, one more thing. Greg Zimmer, thank you for the super chat. One more thing before you guys go. I'm going to show you guys something. This is why social media can be toxic. Okay? You know what my top viewed video was? My top viewed live stream was called I Have Failed, Back in the Truck. That was my #1 viewed video. Well, no, it was #3. One was story time, to be or not to be considerate, which was like a 5-7 minute video, I think, about the guy that was carrying a gun in the fuel island and all that. The second one was cooking in the truck ribeye steak, which I don't get monetized now because I used some music in that one. And then I have failed back in the truck. It was a live stream I did just for grins. Just to, because I'm clickbaity sometimes. How many times did I go to the Kenworth dealership and say I'm buying a new truck? Without you guys, I would just be talking to emptiness. So I appreciate every single person that subscribed this year. I appreciate the people that have supported my channel. I appreciate the bigger YouTubers that have given me traffic and business my way, and I appreciate that quite a bit. I can't tell you how blessed I am because of that. So this is how we get through 23, is through relationships, friendships, and support. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Be good, be safe, strength for today, hope for tomorrow. Peace.